More than 500 years ago, clans of dwarves and gnomes made an agreement known as the Phandelver Pact, by which they would share a rich mine in a wondrous cavern known as Wave Echo Cave. In addition to its mineral wealth, the mine contained great magical power. Human spellcasters allied themselves with the dwarves and gnomes to channel and bind that energy into a great forge called the Forge of Spells, where magic items could be crafted. Times were good, and the nearby town of Phandelver prospered as well. But disaster struck when bandits swept through the north and laid waste to all in their path. A powerful bandit force, reinforced by evil mercenary wizards, attacked Wave Echo Cave to seize its riches and magic treasures. Human wizards fought alongside their dwarf and gnome allies to defend the Forge of Spells, and the ensuing spell battle destroyed much of the cavern. Few survived. The cave-ins and tremors, and knowledge of the location of Wave Echo Cave was lost. For centuries, rumors of buried riches have attracted treasure seekers and opportunists to the area around Phandelver, but no one has located the lost mine. In recent years, people resettled the area, and Phandelver is now a rough and tumbled frontier town. And as we begin our journey, we start in the ever-bustling capital of the region, Neverwinter, famous for its just about anything. One of the 3 major cities in Faerun, along with Waterdeep and Baldur's Gate. Some of you have been brought here seeking adventure, some are working a job, some are following the drugs and stories of their past. You all, in various ways, booked passage with Grunjan Rockseeker and his caravan heading into Phandelver to seek what awaits you in the town. It is a bright, sunny morning. You meet at the designated meeting location, and you find, waiting there already, Gundren Rockseeker and his bodyguard, Sildar Hallwinter. The first of you to arrive is our man, Frito.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Frito Ziziorto. There are a lot of people that really fuck up the pronunciation of my name, so you better get it right. Say it again for the people in the back. Frito Ziziorto. So yeah, I am actually from the place that we're all heading to, Phandelver, these nuts. So I would consider myself pretty swagadocious guy, for use of better words, appropriate. And yeah, I'm here to talk my way out of any situation. I'd prefer not to have to, kill any of you, but if need be, I would not put it past you. So, yeah, good to be here.
What are you wearing?
Khakis.
I'm a bit grubbier on the clothes side. I kind of like to mesh in. I feel like if you wear a bunch of nice clothes, you stand out a bit too much. So, me, how I act, I like to mesh right in. Yeah.
Do you have the facial hair that is in your picture on D&D Beyond?
Yes, it is.
Perfect. Okay, I've got the picture in my head.
All right. As you approach Grundren and Hallwinter, people you are deeply familiar with, being as they are currently actively your employers. Frito, it's good to see you this fine morning, Grundren says as he greets you.
I'm good. Always a pleasure. Oh, man, what wild acts am I up to today? Or just kind of the same as always? Are we going to finally head out to Phandelver finally?
Yes, today is the day we will leave. The wagon's all prepared and everything. However, me and Sildar will need to travel ahead in order to take care of some business back in Phandelver. So I'm leaving you in charge of making sure the caravan and our guests get where they need to go.
Guests? What do you mean?
Yes, we have some party members joining us. They came to me in various manners to book passage to Phandelver. You know the treasure hunter Anur, who's been seeking treasures throughout the region for decades now.
Anur, of course.
Apparently is after something in Phandelver. Hopefully not the same thing we are. And he's joined by a bodyguard who not quite sure what they look like, but they'll be coming together. And then as well, some miscreant from the streets also wanted passage out of town and paid pretty well for us to get them out of town. So we're, taking all business.
I suppose. There's definitely a lot more collateral that comes with this job now. A bit more than I was anticipating for, I should say.
Yes, well, our expedition to find Wave Echo Cave is going to take all the capital we can get.
As long as they're paying, I suppose I don't mind.
Exactly. Well, I'll leave you to wait for them and make sure everyone is together before you depart. I'll meet you in Phandelver, Frito.
Yes. Good luck to you and your traveling partner. Hope all things will go well, but one can never be too sure. So I extend my hand to give him a handshake.
He gives you one right back. Your friend of many years. Be safe, Frito.
You as well, Grund.
And then you see Grundrin Rockseeker and his bodyguard, Sildar, mount their horses and start down the high road towards Phandelver.
So head over the horizon. I'll just kind of rest against the wagon and just kind of look up into the sky aimlessly.
All right. Who would like to be next? Andrew or the other two?
I feel like my character in particular would try to get us to arrive as much on time as possible.
All right.
Also, I'm fighting my demons.
All right. One of you
Which is just like a guard in town.
No, his demon is it's just a patch of flowers in the grass somewhere on the side of the road. He got high this morning. He's just like,
It's a bush!
Is that about right, Edge?
That fern looked at me funny. Come here.
Is that about right?
Yeah, I'm like strangling a plant.
You're like halfway through a window of someone's house.
All right.
That kid stole my lollipop. Get out of my house.
You noticed two figures approaching. One heavily armored and not showing their features. The other one is a drow, a sight you don't see much up on the surface, not in the Underdark. But this must be the treasure hunter that Grundrin mentioned, or they are the most famous drow in the region currently. Or should I say infamous, because you can't trust those drow.
I just look at him until they say something.
I will slowly approach the wagon.
As you approach, you notice the logo of Grundrin's company, like, painted onto the side of the wagon. Okay. And you're like, oh, this must be the right place. But you do not notice Grundrin.
I've got leather armor and a cloaked hood, so I'm like trying to keep my face covered, but it's very obvious I'm a drow. So, are you a friend of the dwarf?
And which dwarf would that be?
Rockseeker. I paid him some good gold to get upon his wagon. I suppose this is it here.
Oh, and I tap the sign to be kind of an asshole. Be like, oh yeah, that's what the sign says. You're in the right spot.
Perfect.
Don't be so rude. Well, I mean, I didn't want to spell it out. I mean, a good way to get a spy out of the mix is by making them fail in the completely obvious.
Yes, well, I don't see Mr. Rockseeker himself. Perhaps he is running late.
Quite the contrary. He's actually not going to be traveling with us directly. It will be me leading the caravan. So.
Excellent. Well, whenever you're ready to leave.
I look around to see if there's that one, because it was 3 people, right, William?
Yes, 3 people will be joining you.
Yeah, so we're still waiting on another. So when they arrive, then we will depart.
All right. Why don't Jacob and Dylan take a time to describe their character for people if they would like to?
Why don't you go first, Jacob?
I'm chewing.
Okay, I'll go first. I am Oris Anur. I am a drow warlock, and I am a agent of an archfey, the Queen of Darkness, she's not as bad as she sounds, although she's pretty bad. And yeah, I travel mostly Neverwinter looking for ancient treasures that have been lost for years, and I don't tell anyone what I do with them once I bring them back to my lady, so... yeah, kind of become infamous of showing up in human and elf towns unannounced and, you know, begrudgingly searching through, you know, old mines.
Temples, ruins,
and,
just about anything.
Yeah, and then I just leave, and then I've got a name for myself because I'll constantly be going back to the same villages. I'm very inefficient with my time.
Yeah. And his infamous reputation partially stems from the fact that drow are hated on the surface world for the most part.
Yeah, most of my people stay in the Underdark, which is where I mostly grew up. But I have a gift and a mission of much importance, and my bodyguard here also has a story.
I am Lieutenant Gerald. I am a half-elf paladin. That is all you need to know.
Bada boom, bada bang.
All you need to know. All right. Andrew, roll me a d4.
Oh boy.
Reminds me to get my dice wherever I put them.
The wrong dice. Did I eat my D4 in this?
They're all rolling for you, Andrew.
I got a 1.
Never mind.
All right. About an hour later, Robert, you finally snap out of your hallucinations and stop fighting plants along the street and realize you're late to meet up with your ride, and they're probably getting impatient.
I don't think he's gonna show up. We should just leave.
I only spent an hour strangling ferns. That's good.
An improvement over most days.
Very true.
You start... Roll me a d20 as well. Let's see how lucky you were that you snapped out of your trance by where you needed to be.
All right. Got a 60.
You got a 16?
Yeah.
You're only about 30 minutes away. You somehow, from your inn, or wherever you were staying, stumbled your way, even though you were delirious and out of your mind, closer to your destination.
Nice.
So, for those at the wagon, about an hour and a half after Oris and Lieutenant Gerald showed up, you see a... Well, describe yourself. How do you look after one of your episodes?
I'm very disheveled. I put my shirt on upside down, for example. Like my boots on my head. I'm still holding the fern I was strangling. I couldn't let go of it. I'm also seem to be arguing with myself as I'm walking up, for no reason in particular.
Yeah. Roll a perception check, Andrew. You're still sort of out of it, so I want to see if you walk up to the right wagon for the first.
I get on some random guy's wagon.
Who the hell are you?
I get trafficked in episode 1. 9.
Good. You had to beat a 5. You walk up and you see a wagon with the symbol that Rockseeker told you to look for. You see a half-elf, a hooded figure, can't quite make out what they are from this distance, and an armored soldier of some kind. You could, if you want, you could roll a history check, because the armor looks familiar to all of you. So you could roll a history to see if you know where the armor's from, or you cannot and let it be a mystery.
Any of us?
Yeah, any of you.
4.
I got a 18 plus 2.
All right.
Yeah.
Got a 15.
You succeed, Gerald. It's your own armor.
Who put me in this? At the start of that, I got distracted by a cat. My bad.
Where am I?
Start looking around. What is this?
Andrew, Nick, what did you get?
I got a 14.
14?
I got a 10.
All right. The two of you, you're like in the back of your mind, you're like thinking you know where this armor's from, but you can't quite place it. Oris, having spent like a month or two at this point with each other, you have figured out that the armor is from the Elven Kingdom of Athanor. Yep. Which is spelled Athanor.
And that's what Geralt is wearing.
Yes. All right. What do you do as you approach the wagon, Robert?
So, as he's approaching, he is arguing with the fern, and then when he realizes that he has actually reached the wagon, he's gonna
Keep ugly.
pull out his lute and clear his throat, and he's gonna recite his poem that he got ready for this incursion.
Roll a performance check.
Oh, by the gods, this Ganassi smells like shit.
And ferns. Possibly a lollipop and a child.
You put what in a child?
Roll a performance, Andrew.
Is 13.
13. You guys, you hear him stroke the lute, and it's not that bad as he recites what he's saying, but you just can't get over the fact that this man looks like he just stumbled out of a whorehouse. He's talking to a fern, and he smells awful.
Did he bring the fern with him?
Yeah, I'm death gripping the fern while arguing with it.
Whilst playing a lute.
Whilst playing the lute.
Did you drop the fern to play the lute because it's a two-handed instrument?
Yeah, I like threw the fern down.
So you guys saw this man argue with a fern, approach you, start reciting a poem, smells awful, looks disheveled, looks like he just came out of the night of his life. And this is the man that approaches you.
I see this. I look towards Geralt. I look back towards Robert, and I just put my head down and start walking towards the wagon.
What type of genasi are you?
Air.
All right, so you're sort of like
Oh,
cloudy.
so the smell's even worse.
No, so it's just like wind and cloud making up a being approaching you, wearing a shirt upside down, though his body morphs to fit it because he's made of air.
So his arms are like upside down?
Yeah, and he's still playing amazingly. Do you say anything to them besides the poem?
What is the poem, by the way?
No, but I got the poem ready, so I'm gonna say it anyway.
Perfect.
That's part of the poem. O travelers of the earth and sky, I'm a Genasi bard, and I'm soaring high. With fire in my heart and storm in my soul, I'll sing you a tale that'll make you whole. From element planes, my power I draw. I share with you stories that'll leave you in awe. So gather round and let the magic flow, for this Genasi is ready to steal the show. Some call me silly, a bit funny and cheeky, but unlike my head, this Genasi is squeaky.
You're getting the worst seat in the back of the bus. Get it.
I lift up my sword, I put it up to him, and I just say, stay at least this far away from me.
Yeah, the fern's gonna get a better seat than you at this point.
All right.
Oh, we already
Sits
touched
on
the
the
fern. We
horse.
don't want to see that fern.
So, Frito, you have just assumed this is the third person you're waiting for?
Smells like him.
I heard they were there and that they were spending a shit ton of money, so felt obligated not to leave, but now that they're here, I kind of wish I did.
Yes, you did. All right.
But before we embark, I'm gonna walk over to the Genasi. For what it's worth, that was a pretty good tune.
Oh, thank you, good sir.
And I'm gonna toss you 1 gold coin.
Huzzah!
Pretty honest.
We all know immediately what.
I do a slightly high attempt at a grovel, so I just start doing the worm.
Well, shall we go?
Yeah. All you get in the back. I don't want to hear any phones. I don't want to hear any bullshit. I don't want to hear any unnecessary malarkey from any of you fellas. We're here to get you to and from one place to the next. That is that. Please don't overcomplicate this.
And with that, you guys gather onto the wagon. It's drawn by 2 oxen. Frito, as the employee and leader of this, sits at the front to drive the cattle, the oxen. And the 3 of you sit in the back or walk alongside it. Those are your choices. Since you all paid, I assume you're sitting in the back.
Yeah, I'm definitely sitting.
All right.
I'm sitting in the back so I can play my lute.
I want to sit
all
next
right.
to the
So as
fern.
you sit in,
Sitting in the back, but staying as far away from the
so
genasi.
Lieutenant Gerald, Oris, and the fern are sitting right behind the driver's seat, and then we have Robert People on the other side at the end of the wagon, feet off the back, strumming his lute, singing a happy tune as Neverwinter disappears into the distance. All right, so you guys start your journey. We're going to do a bit of a time skip because it takes about a day and some for y'all to get down here to a fork in the...
Aha.
Ah,
No.
All right, you get to about there where the blue line ends. It takes you a few days of traveling. You spend the time getting to know each other a little better. Some of you separate from each other more than others. But we're going to skip the journey until we get to here, just because it take a little bit. Actually, you guys can talk a little bit about what you guys did during your travel, if you would like to.
Okay, well, instantly I'm intrigued by the drunken bard with his fern. So I'm going to take the fern and approach the Genasi and just sit near him on the trip. And whatever he's doing, I'm listening to. Just, there's something about his chaotic nature which is inspiring.
I'm constantly looking, watching the angles, watching the trees, making sure there's nothing around.
Makes sense for a bodyguard.
I'm probably about the same, but probably more so just focusing on the road and making sure there aren't any upcoming obstacles or bandits or whatnot that might be lurking, setting a trap.
Every once in a while, Robert looks over at the fern with malicious intent, and he has to hold himself back from just physically attacking the fern.
Do you have a name for this thing?
Oh, no, it's not mine. It's just a plant I found.
Oh, how about Charles?
Sure, yeah, Charles.
Charles the Fern.
Yes, Charles the Fern.
What did you say your name was?
I'm Robert. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
And what are you getting up to in Phandelver, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, well, I've set up a gig where I perform. I point at my lute. A bit of a household name around these parts.
Really?
Yes, I'm known to inspire some artists to create works of beauty.
You see, where I come from, Unseelie Court, we kind of thrive off the chaos of the unknown. From that void of pure energy, we sculpt our destiny. So, seeing someone as free as you, it brings a smile to my drowsy face.
Well, I hope we have great times ahead.
Yes, and perhaps I can see one of your performances, other than the one I've already seen.
I would love to have you.
Alright, well, with that, I just pat Charles on its pot, and then I get up and walk back towards Gerald.
Is the plant potted, or is it just like a fern you ripped out of a
I
pot?
ripped it out of the ground.
Okay,
Yeah,
just tap the dirt that it's...
What's left of the dirt?
Yeah.
Alright. After several days' travel, you guys come to a fork in the road called the Tribor Trail.
Does, Frito warn us of the trail? Or tell us of the trail?
There you go.
Fritos actually sound pretty good. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
How dare you?
Well, Frito, you just know that the Tribor Trail is the trail that goes from the road between Neverwinter and Lelon and Coneyberry to the north.
Sounds good to me.
And it's the route to Phandelver. If you want to share that information, you can. If you don't want to, you can just say it's the route to Phandelver.
I'll just tell them it's the route to Phandelver. They don't need to know much more than that.
Excellent. Onward, then.
Onward, indeed. All We continue our journey for about a day and a half. You guys have been on the Tribor Trail, and you're nearing a side of the road leading south towards Phandelver. As you come around a bend, you stumble upon a scene of a recent battle. The woods press close to the trail here, with a steep embankment and dense thickets on either side. 2 horses wander the road, sniffing at a ransacked personal effects. If you would all, what would you guys like to do?
I assume you stop the ox.
Yeah, we'll sus.
Roll a perception check, just Nick.
Perception.
What time of day is it, by the way?
Midday. 14. You, despite it being about a week, you do recognize these horses as the horses Grundren and Sildar left on.
That sends a shiver down my spine.
What is it?
These horses, they belong to the other people I was working with. Grundren and the other guy. Oh god. Not the other guy. Sildar, shit.
What race? Oh, I wouldn't know that. Okay, well, first thing I would do is I slowly step to where...
You guys stop the wagon, correct?
Yeah. I want to be behind Gerald, or have him in between
and I pull my sword out.
me and the chaos.
Perfect.
We have to do something!
Yeah.
We have to investigate.
Frito, what was Gundren up to when they left?
Well, they were going ahead and, they just had another routine operation, you know? It was just, they were going to go ahead, scout things out, make sure everything was fine. But, they could still be out there, but this was not the most positive sign that we could have hoped for. Yeah.
Would we know if there's, still bandit activity in this area?
That was centuries ago. As far as you know, there's always some, because that's how some people choose to make their living.
Yeah.
But there hasn't, at least between Neverwinter and Leonin, there hasn't been any reports of increased bandit activity or any out of the ordinary bandit activity.
Could I make a history check to see if I would know what sort of factions are in this area and could have done this?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I got a 11.
Yeah. Well, there's always the Lord of Neverwinter and the factions within the city in the area. They are the most powerful factions in the region. There's the rebuilding forces in Phandelver, as well as the other city guards. You can't think of any specific bandits in the region. In fact, there seems to have been a decrease in typical bandit activity. Whether that means a new Underlord faction has stepped in and is controlling things or not, you don't know.
Okay. Frito, why don't you pull our wagon off to the side? We may be walking right into an ambush. Oxing right into an ambush.
Sure. Could I stealth it and hide it in the bushes so maybe it wouldn't get detected?
Yeah, you guys are still some good 50 feet out, so you guys could pull the wagon over, stop it, and then proceed on foot to the horses if you so wish.
Are you gonna do that?
I just have one worry about doing that, is if we all leave here, there's the potential that we get caught with our pants down, lose the wagon, all our shit in the wagon. So.
You could attempt to hide the wagon in the woods on the side of the road.
Cover it in leaves or something?
Yeah.
If I help him cover it in leaves, can he have advantage on the stealth roll?
Yeah, I would say stealth or nature, whichever one you think is better for you.
I'll do stealth. Alright, let's see.
With advantage, because your new crew is helping.
13.
13. It is a forest, so it is sort of hard to maneuver the wagon, but you do definitely get it off the main road, and it is in the shadows a little bit, and you do, ironically, you put it behind some ferns and some bushes. Though the fern you did travel with from Neverwinter is very much dead.
Okay.
Unless Robert did something, it is harder to see. But if someone truly looked for it, they would find it.
Okay. Seeing as we're in a very precarious situation where we don't know what is going on, who ambushed our fellow caravan, I suggest we try to do this as quietly as possible, gather some information, and then regroup. So, why don't, Gerald, you stay with the wagon, since, no offense, you're not the quietest bodyguard in the world, and the other three of us look on up ahead as best we can.
For your protection, sir.
I know. If anything goes wrong, I will immediately run like a pussy back to you.
Good, sir.
I'm going to stop you right, buddy. This is out of my shit, where if I lose this shit, I'm going to probably lose my job and maybe some other repercussions. I'm not getting further than 30 feet away from this wagon until I don't need to be close to it anymore. So if you guys want to go up ahead, that's fine. But I'm going to stay back here with my bow. I'll scope things out. If you guys get under attack, I'll provide cover. But, you know, if you guys get killed, I can kind of more easily excuse that than if I lose the shit that I'm supposed to be bringing to Phandelver. You get my drift.
Okay. I want to insight roll him to see if that's the actual reason he's staying behind or if he's scared.
All right, roll.
Pussy.
That is 16 plus 4, 20.
All right, 20. That is pretty good insight. Are you lying?
No, that's actually like the truth. It's like, considering it's looking like that 2 of the people I work with might have already been killed, it would not really be too outside the realm of possibility to say that some of the people I was traveling with would end up biting the bullet as well, to phrase it one way. But if I lose the shit, that's kind of on me. So
okay, that's fair.
That is collateral right now.
That is fair, Frito. Charles, Robert, what about you two?
Forgot about the
Always a fan of exploration.
So you good at being quiet?
Yeah, I have my times.
Okay. I worriedly look back to the rest of the group.
So let me get this straight. So we have Robert and Ortis approaching.
Yes, with Charles in hand.
With the dead fern.
Yeah.
Gerald and Frito are staying back with the wagon.
Everyone good with that plan?
Aye, sir.
Protect that wagon with your life, Gerald. I already expect Frito will do the same.
All right. You start walking down the path. You can roll stealth checks.
12.
All right.
Stealth is... There you are. 18.
18. All right. You guys make your way down, being very... One of you being very quiet, one of you stepping on the occasional twig or making a little bit of scruff with their feet.
I'm used to
You
caves.
don't notice. Roll perception
Perception.
or investigation, depending on if you're making sure no one's coming for you or you're looking at the scene in front of you.
Well, considering I have disadvantage on perception in the daylight, I'm going to investigate. And that is a 17.
17. All right. What are you doing, Robert?
I am perceiving any threat that may be nearby, and that's a 19.
19. All right.
Left to me and one to you.
Yeah.
Pay attention to me.
How do you plan me to do something?
Do not see anything currently, but laying on the ground, you notice the site is littered with arrows, torn scraps of fabric, odds and ends discarded from the bags carried by the horses. And as you approach, do you guys go all the way up to the horses?
With my investigation, do I see any blood?
Um,
Because if I see blood, I'm not going any further.
Well, you see. Let's see here.
How
What
to
did you
do
roll
this to
again?
get you to go forward?
What did you roll, Dylan?
I got 17 on it.
17. You do see. It looks like there's some dried liquid on the ground. It's sort of brownish from this distance. You can't quite tell what it is. Just because who knows how long these horses have been here.
This blood is white.
And you do see.
And the horses are alive?
Horses are alive.
Oh.
And surprisingly, no arrows in them.
Okay, so I don't see blood. There's probably just horse shit on the ground. But I can't tell because I've got a man who smells like shit right next to me, so...
Hello.
It's
Are the
throwing
horses
off my
tied,
scent.
or are they're just walking around?
They're just walking around. They are sort of gathered by the empty saddlebags that they had.
Okay, this is really weird. So there's
And there is trinkets and stuff scattered around.
there's no humanoids we can see.
None that you can see.
And there's two horses. There's like a broken down. There's like a bunch of stuff all over the floor, like people's things. So
Yes.
we know that. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna whisper with my 12 stealth. This is not good. I don't see any blood, so there's a chance that who we're looking for is still alive. But maybe we should continue on just a little bit further.
Makes sense to me. I strum my lute and go invisible.
So this music plays out right next to where I'm standing.
So you go invisible?
And I immediately run and jump behind a bush.
Yep.
How are you going invisible? Is that a spell?
Yes, I used the lute.
The loot. Okay. And that's a limited time number of things per day. Oh yeah. That's actually pretty good. I forgot about all that.
Doesn't say.
So you guys get closer to the
I'm gonna hide behind a bush the second he strums that lute.
Alright, you jump behind a bush. Robert invisibly approaches the horses.
Yeah, sure. I'll look at the trinkets while I'm walking.
Most of the trinkets are just like personal items, nothing really worth looking at. The one thing of note is the horses' saddlebags have been looted, and there's an empty leather map case lying on the ground.
I will take the map case.
Though, as if summoned by the strum of music, out of the woods comes 4 goblins. And we will start combat. Y'all could roll initiative.
Oh.
I got a 4.
Hey.
Yeah. 2, because I have a -2 initiative.
22.
Good luck, guys.
22?
Yes, sir.
19.
19.
We're doing great, Dylan.
Yeah. So the goblins are coming out of like the forest.
Mm-hmm. You can't see the goblins quite yet, but you do see arrows come flying out of the woods. You think they were trying to hit you guys, but you guys went invisible and jumped behind a bush, meaning they completely missed and all the arrows just flooded where you guys used to be.
My immediate reaction was the good one then, I guess.
Yes.
Imagine he
What's gonna
disappears
happen-
and then just 20 arrows gonna shoot into me. Ah!
Yes. You guys switch over to roll 20. You all should have control over your people. If Robert and Oris want to move closer to where they think they would be, if you want to switch sides of the road, Oris. But generally in that area is where you would be on either side of the road, unless you were closer to the horses. And then the other 2 are still off screen a little bit, because they were about... Alright, I guess you guys were a little bit further, because I thought 50 feet would put you off the map, but it doesn't. You guys were like 70 feet away. You're just off the edge of the screen. And with that, start of initiative, and with that 22, Robert is first. Was that a nat 20?
Was a 19 plus 3.
Gotcha. At this point, you still can't quite see where any of the arrows came from. You could roll perception if now that you got a better idea of where you're looking to see if you can find them. Do tell me where you're looking, if you're looking specifically on one side or the other, just so I can see how your score does.
Yeah. I'll look in the direction behind, I guess,
Forest.
to the north.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Is it's a perception. 14.
14. You do notice. Oh, what screen am I on? I have the wrong button. Do see 2 goblins on this side of the map, but you do not see anything else at the moment.
I assume I don't see those goblins.
You don't yet.
Yeah, because they're gonna kill you. No, just kidding.
Actually, I'll give everyone a perception just to see where the arrows came from. Though, do it at disadvantage because you're surprised by the arrows.
I already have disadvantage, so perfect.
What is a perception?
Yes.
I got a 16.
Perfect.
Got a 15.
8.
8 for Frito.
Yep.
The other 2 people got above 15. So we will actually reveal everyone. Nope, that's the wrong layer. My bad. I made one of these things part of the map.
Nice.
Here are all of the enemies. Everyone but Frito can see where they are. Frito is sort of confused why arrows just came out of the... You know where the arrows came from? You just can't quite see pinpoint exact who shot them.
We've angered the trees.
Yeah. So, Robert, you're up.
Yes.
Oh boy.
All right. I'm going to. I'm actually just going to back away a bit, like over here, and that'll be my turn.
That will be your turn. All right. Yep. Frito, you're up.
Can I do another perception check to see if I can?
Yes. That will be your free object interaction. So you will still have your bonus in object. You'll still have your bonus in action to go, but you can do the free perception.
Free perception. 24.
24. Yeah, you clocked. Now that you got over the shock of seeing arrows just fly out of the woods, you clocked the 4 goblins immediately.
Can I try and shoot one of them, or did I already use my action for that?
No, you can try and shoot someone. Just keep in mind you are technically off screen by like 10 feet. But your bow probably has a lot of range, so you're probably about 65 feet away from that guy.
Perfect.
55, and 40.
I shoot the guy at 40 feet away from me.
40? So this guy, the goblin directly north of us.
Yep, and I'll try and do my stealth attack, because they probably don't see me.
Oh no, they clocked you.
Okay.
But you can still attack them.
You make eye contact with a goblin.
I snipe them. I got a 12.
You launch an arrow into the woods, and the goblin ducks behind a tree, and it just impales into a tree.
Oh shit. Alright, well so far everyone's missed their arrows, so we're even.
We are even. Anything else on your turn, Frito?
I like duck into the bushes and hide, or have I already used that opportunity?
You don't start with the bonus action hide stuff, right?
No, I don't think so.
You could move into the woods to provide a little bit of cover. You can't hide because you use that action.
I'll duck into the bushes then.
All right, we're just gonna move you down a little bit to symbolize you're in the woods.
I have to say that picture is fucking epic.
Yeah, found a good one. All right, we have one goblin. First goblin is going to shoot Horus. Does a 11 hit?
My AC is 12.
It does not. All right, that was Goblin A. Goblin B is
Which one shot at me?
the one directly north of you. The one next to it, its partner on the side of the woods, is also going to shoot at you.
Okay.
Does a 13 hits, correct?
Yep.
All right. It does 7 damage.
Holy shit.
Which brings you down to 2 health.
Yes, sir.
So an arrow flies out of the wood. One lands in the dirt next to you. The other one sort of goes into your chest, and you're like, but you are still standing. The other two goblins, one is going to shoot at Frito. Does a 16 hit.
Yes.
But sucked on having a TDC.
You also take 7 points of damage as an arrow flies out of the wood and impales into you.
God damn it.
You all have very low health. Okay. The last one is going to shoot at Lieutenant Gerald. It got a 6. I assume that misses you.
Oh, yeah.
Right. That is the 4 goblins' actions. They are going to move up a little bit. This one's going to move back a little bit. This one will move over here, thinking no one is over there. And now it is Oris's turn.
What did Gerald get as their...
2.
Oh,
2.
okay. Well,
They rolled a 4 and -2.
seeing as I... Oh, I just realized I should have done something. Okay, well, I'll do that next time. Seeing as I am not going to attempt to get close to either of these dudes, I am going to cast Hex on the one that hit me.
And what does Hex do?
So Hex will... find it on my character sheet. You place a curse on a creature that you can see within range. Until the spell ends, you deal an extra 1d6 necrotic damage to the target whenever you
And it
hit
just
with
happens?
an attack. Whenever I hit with an attack.
Yeah, but the curse, the Hex, just happens.
Let's see. Yeah, I just have to concentrate on it.
That one is now Hex. So that's for Hex. Let's put that symbol on it.
And that's a bonus action, so I'm now going to cast Eldritch, or I'm going to use the cantrip Eldritch Blast.
I don't believe you can cast 2 spells in the same turn, right? Oh, if one's a bonus action, you can do one as an action.
You can't cast 2 spells, but Eldritch Blast is a cantrip.
Perfect. No, there was something with that. Go ahead.
Okay, so I do have disadvantage because, or does that goblin count as not being in the sunlight because he's in the trees?
You have to be in the sunlight, right?
If the target I'm aiming at is not in the sunlight, the thing that I'm looking at, I mean. Checks that rely on sight when you the target or whatever you were.
You have disadvantage on attack rolls.
Yeah, I do. All right, well I'm gonna attack him anyway.
All right.
So that's 15, and the lower roll is okay. So 15 is the higher roll.
He's the lower row.
As the lower roll, sorry.
That hits.
Okay, and so I'm gonna do. What kind of damage is this? 1d10 force damage.
Plus a d6 for Hex, right?
Plus a d6 of necrotic damage. So that's... I rolled 2 1s. That's 2 damage.
Let's go.
All that arrow. Okay. You do 2 damage.
Hit with disadvantage, but roll 2 1s on the damage dice. Let's go! My queen! I failed you! And then for my movement, I'm gonna sprint as far as I can towards Gerald.
Alright. You were 20 feet away from the edge of the map, right?
Yeah.
You can get right next to Gerald, who is 30 feet away from you at that
Okay,
point.
I just run behind his armor.
Yep. Alright. Next is Gerald.
With Oris right next to me, I am going to use Lay on Hands,
Nice.
and I'm going to heal him. Or I can heal. So how does this work?
You can use a slot of Lay on Hands for 5 hit point each slot. You can use as many slots as you want in one go.
Well, as he only lost that much, so I'll just heal him once.
Okay, so you
Use 1 on him.
give me 5. Nice.
5 health. And then I'm going to stand in front of him.
As I run up to you, I scream, "Attack, Gerald! Attack! Kill the goblins!"
Kill, fight. Then I'm going to run into the forest.
I sick my dog on them.
See how far I can get from where I started. I have 30 feet. I can run right up to this guy, and I'm going to swing my sword at him.
So you were.
Isn't lay on hands an action?
It is. You could get here. So you were 30. You're 10 feet off screen, so that will bring you to.
Oh, I was 10 feet off screen. My bad.
So you're charging towards the enemy, but not quite there.
All right, cool. Come at me. Face me. That is my turn, obviously. Where's my Monday?
Is that all you're going to do, Lieutenant?
Dot.
Okay. That brings us back to the top of initiative with Robert People. Rob Pole.
Yes, sir.
To the building.
All right.
Rob Pole.
Rob Pole is going to cast Dissonant Whispers on the close goblin.
Hey, what does that do?
That goblin needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
Alright. This one? 6.
All right. 6 psychic damage.
Damn.
There it is. That's a 6. That's a 5. And that's a 3.
That's what I call damage. That's a lot of damage.
14?
Yes, sir. And immediately use its reaction, if available, to move as far as its speed allows from me.
Yeah, that ain't available to it, because it hit.
Fantastic. Its corpse is like,
Yeah, you distant whispers, you see the psychic green mist, and you see it start like twitching, and then its twitching just violently like rips its body apart as it falls to the ground dead, as you do twice as much damage as health it has left.
Nice.
Well, more than that, actually. So you just obliterated this goblin into pieces on the floor.
Shee!
Attacking breaks your invisibility, I believe.
Yes, it does, and I'm gonna move over here.
All right. Is that all for your turn?
That is it.
Is it? Perfect. Frito, it is now you.
Frito. All right. Let's. So on my last go, I was able to do a perception instead of my main action. Can I do the same thing with doing a stealth roll to try and get into cover before I shoot?
No, because that is an aspect of combat, whereas the perception was more as you were just looking around to see what you see quickly.
Then can I go and duck behind the wagon for cover and prepare an attack of opportunity for next turn?
Sure. An attack. So you're going to go get in. You're going to roll for stealth to hide.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Unnatural 20.
Ooh.
Let's see. Yep. You duck down behind the wagon. You're hidden as far as you know.
They don't have object permanence.
There's a bunch of trees and shit.
You're now 20 feet behind the border of the map.
Okay.
All right.
That's how I planned it. Shoot what's not on the map.
Go to a goblin who, seeing the paladin charging towards him, is going to pull out a scimitar, a long curved blade. Well, not long, but a curved blade. Charge forward and swing. Does a 10 hit you?
No.
Perfect.
Huzzah.
You raise your greatsword, swipe away the scimitar, and you guys are now locked in close quarters combat.
Yeah, Gerald's got that bullshit cock AC with 18 out the gate.
Yeah. One goblin's gonna step out of the woods and shoot Robert. Does an 8 hit you?
No, sir.
The other one is also gonna step to the border of the woods and shoot at Oris.
Give me your best shot!
Does a 22 hit?
Oh, fuck.
God.
That's not good.
It does 4 damage.
Alright. I'm still up.
You are still up. Perfect. Oris, it is your turn.
Alright, I'm gonna use a bonus action and move my hex to the guy who just shot me, which I think was... Oh, whoops.
This one. Yep.
Alright, and then I'm going to disadvantage Eldritch Blast the bitch.
I didn't blast.
First one's a 5, so that's a 10. See if I get lower than that. Alright, so 10. Doesn't hit, right?
You shoot the blast of Eldritch energy into the woods and absolutely wreck a tree, but you miss the goblin.
Bart goes flying.
No.
But you missed the tree. Does Hex do anything besides give you more damage?
No. I don't think so.
Gerald.
Also, I forgot the thing that I was thinking of last time again.
Well, keep it in your mind. Keep it there. Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
I need to, like, bold it on my character sheet.
Alright, I'm gonna swing my sword.
Alright.
Does a 12 hit?
12 misses, so you go back to swing at the goblin. The goblin blocks it with its scimitar. You guys are locked in a dance of swords.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
Alright. Back to the top of the list, and we got Robert.
Alright, Robert's gonna sprint out in front of the goblin and dissonant whispers him.
Alright. Saving throw again?
Yes, sir. Whisper sweet words into his
That's
ear.
a 12. It's a 12. What am I trying
He
to do?
failed. 13.
Perfect. You should be glad they have a -1 to their wisdom.
And a 4. And another 5. That's 14 damage.
14 to this one right in front of you.
Yes, sir.
Once again, you see green mist emanate from their eyes.
I take a bow as he explodes.
And then he just twitches himself into nothingness.
Nice. That's fucking weird.
You did double the amount. You're using your very limited spell slots to do a lot of damage. All right, Rob, you are followed by Frito.
Fire! Fire the arrow!
You're up, Nick.
All right, I'm gonna not step out, but like
You're gonna peek the wagon.
peek through the wagon, see who's looking the most susceptible. And I'm gonna shoot him.
Perfect. You have advantage. They lost sight of you.
Oh shit.
Who are you shooting? The one locked in combat with Gerald, or the one cursed by Oris?
The one fucking with Gerald.
All
About to
right.
get 24.
That hits. Just to
Well,
let you
now
know,
I-
your sneak attack does trigger when you have advantage or when you have an ally within 5 feet.
Okay. 5 feet of the person I'm attacking, or 5 feet with me?
If you have an ally within 5 feet of the person you're attacking.
Okay.
So
bet.
trigger on either goblin, because you have advantage.
They fucking with Gerald, that means they're fucking with me.
Perfect. 24 hits. Roll for damage.
If you cross her, then you cross me.
Alright. Andrew, we're gonna have to stop that malarkey just for 10 seconds. I'm gonna roll 2d6s, and I get a +3. Get ready for 15 damage.
Yeah.
And you got 5.
I got 10 damage.
10 damage.
Let's go.
Nice. You release an arrow into the air. It flies right past Gerald through a gap, right into the eyes and the forehead of the goblin, and it just falls. The arrow sort of carries it momentum-wise backwards a little bit, just onto the ground, dead.
Wow, did so much there.
And then I duck in the wagon again.
You can't hide, but you can use it as cover a little bit.
Yeah, it's not to stealth, but just to like move out of their field of vision.
Yes, and that brings us to the remaining goblin, who is going to... What is your distance? Going to dash and do something else. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4,
Hello.
5, 6, 7.
Do I get to attack of opportunity while he runs by me or no? Or is that just when he leaves your area?
You do not because of his abilities.
Ah.
Fuck! The goblin's running for backup!
But that is going to be its turn. It is now Oris. You're up.
Okay. Alright, well, how far off the map am I right now?
About 10 feet.
Where'd the fucking ruler go? Anyway.
It's about 90 feet away.
Gonna move here. Do I have line of sight on him?
Just barely, I will say.
Shit. Do I just shoot at him again, or do I try to, like, intimidate him to stop running? I don't think that's gonna work. I'm gonna shoot at him.
Alright.
Alright, let's see what we get here. Not natural 1, never mind.
Yeah, you go to Eldritch Blast just as the sun glints for a moment, and you're like,
Ah!
and you shudder away, and your blast just goes wide by a mile. Not a literal mile, but just like
I launch it towards the moon.
goes into nothing. It just goes in a fit of rage. You just launch it at the sun.
Yeah.
You miss, but you still launch it at the sun. Anything else?
I just shout, "Somebody stop that goblin!" Hoping that there's not other goblins that can hear me shout that.
Gerald, it is you.
It is you, my boy.
Me?
Just sprint.
Well, hearing him scream that, I'm gonna try to sprint all the way over there. Probably won't catch him, but I'll just try.
You can get about here without sprinting, and you can get in his way. But we saw how effective that was for Robert.
So if I sprint, I can make it in front of him?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well, I'm gonna run in front of him then.
Robert.
Just gonna be staying right here when he comes around the corner. That'll end my turn.
All right. We're going back up to Robert.
Alright, let's see. I'm going right in that bush.
Right in the bush.
I'm gonna strum my lute and do a sinister jig behind him. Cast vicious mockery, so he has to make a wisdom saving throw.
9.
Yep. Alright, he takes 1d4 damage.
Sheesh.
That is 3 damage.
It's not down, but that is, as he is a goblin, still great damage to him as he... What insult do you lay into him?
I call him fat. And
So,
so
like-
the way he's running.
You see him sort of pout and like grab his stomach a little bit and be like,
Fatty, adopted fatty, no parents.
You smell like shit. Oh wait.
Sorry, that's me.
You just see him get like depressed and a little sad, and he's still running away like, I'm not fat. But you don't understand him because he's a goblin.
You think you can run fast, Tubby?
Pussy.
That is the end of my turn.
That brings us to Frito.
So can I see the final goblin, and is there someone within 5 feet of him?
No, it's within 5 feet of him, but you are 100 feet away from him.
I'm gonna try and shoot him.
You might want to move closer.
Got the rail gun.
20 feet up, then I'm in stable range.
Yep. So you move just onto the map. Let's say down here, and then you shoot.
16.
16 hits.
So that does do the sneak attack then.
It will not, because no one's within 5 feet.
Oh, okay. Then I got 6 damage.
Arrow through the air, right into the back of this goblin's head as it runs away from you and dies.
Boom.
And
Get
that
sniped and loser.
ends combat. Everyone gets... that ends it. How do I end combat?
You gotta play the battle victory music.
Alright, the combat ended. You guys won, and you all get 50 experience.
Nice.
You're gonna
55.
frisk the bodies for gold.
I'm panting heavily. And I'm gonna lie down in the bushes, holding my wounds.
Roll investigation, Andrew.
15.
You find their weapons. Each one was carrying a short bow and a scimitar. It looks like as these were lookouts, they weren't carrying much else of value with them.
Take their weapons.
All right.
I'd like to go around and collect your ones, including the ones that I used.
Yeah, you go and do that.
There's about 6 in the road if you want them.
So how many do I get in total for that? The 6 in the road. Did I get any of the ones that I used back?
You got all the ones you used back, and you probably find another 8 arrows that are usable on the battlefield.
I'm gonna run back to Oris and check if he's okay. Check how he's doing.
Well, I've got 2 arrows in me, so...
Let me help you up, sir.
Thank you. You got any more of that healing magic?
If you want,
Yes,
you guys could take a short rest and use some of your healing dice to get health back.
True.
I'll stay on guard because I didn't lose any health.
Alright. I guess I look around towards Robert and Frito. Actually, I'm gonna head back towards the carriage where Frito is.
Could I, while I'm checking to see where the arrows are, could I do a investigation check to see if there's any sign of my partners in productive part of society?
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah, give me a survival check. Anyone else who wants to as well can do it as...
I think I'm too injured to pay attention to that sort of thing.
Get us.
I shall, but I won't do very well. No, I will not do very well. Got an 8.
Anyone else want to go?
Charles?
We're doing a survival check to survey the battlefield for any signs of the people who are on the horses.
Yeah, I can do that. Okay, Robert is not gonna find anything. I got a 9.
Anyone beat a 10?
Nope. 7, 8, 9.
I guess while I'm limping towards the carriage, I'll just give a look around. But I do have disadvantage, so that will be interesting. It's perception, right?
No.
Survival, you said.
Survival.
Oh, then I don't have disadvantage. Let's see what I get. 21.
Surprisingly, the most injured of you
As I'm limping back to the carriage, I just take a quick look.
is also the one that noticed along the path the goblin was running. There appears to be some tracks that look about the size of 2 human-sized bodies being dragged from the ambush site along that path.
Alright, I put my hand on Gerald's armor to stop him, and then I point towards the path. Everybody, look! Tracks! In the direction where the goblin was running.
Those fuckers took my partners. I'm not gonna let that slide.
Path be big enough for a horse.
Perhaps you should all rest first.
Yeah.
I look towards Frito.
I suppose we can wait by the wagon, have some rations or whatnot to properly fuel up. We don't know what we're really going into.
Agreed. Robert, how are you doing? You did quite a bit of damage to those goblins.
Haven't had this much fun in a while. I haven't
so
argued with a Fern in a decent amount of time, so I'd say I'm doing pretty well.
It's almost as good as the high you get from smoking your drugs.
Yes, sir.
Are you holding the fern right now?
I am not holding the Fern. It is at the wagon.
Okay.
There's just a dead, decomposing fern in your wagon.
Yeah. As long as he's at the wagon, it's alright.
Underhand that Fern.
No, I was gonna roleplay if the fern was on the ground and I see him, like, no! Just run over to him. But no, he's at the wagon, he's fine.
So we gather back at the wagon for a short rest?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna take time to slowly pry the arrows out of my leg and chest.
Fair enough. So it'll take about 30 minutes. You guys can open up healing, do a short rest, and use your hit point dice to gain back what you roll in hit points.
During the short rest, I'm going to animal friendship the horses and try to bring them over.
Yeah. I mean, you don't... animal friendship, is that just like a spell, or do you talk to them?
It's a spell. I can't speak to them with animal friendship, but I can convince them that I am not here to harm them, essentially.
You cast the spell, you see them sort of lift their heads up and stare at you, and then start walking over.
Let's go.
The horses are following him?
Yes.
Nice.
I'm the Pied Piper.
Hell yeah.
Why do the healing thing?
If you click on your HP, if you do short rest, you have one hit
You
pull
can
die.
Click on your squares under your class.
Oh, perfect.
Wow.
So you can...
Do they have their saddles on them still? No.
The saddles are still on them and stuff. Saddlebags have been looted and thrown to the ground.
Alright.
So they're completely useless, basically.
I mean, they're horses.
I know, I mean the saddlebags.
We can put more stuff in them.
True.
They seem to be in alright condition.
Okay.
I'm gonna put the goblin weapons in the bags. So I don't have to
Nice.
carry
They
Perfect.
poke a hole through and rip.
them. No!
Fuck!
There's another Fern in
Should
there.
have put them the other way in.
Um,
Yeah, we put Charles in the other bag.